How do you sort of sum up tonight, and are you worried at all after a performance like that?
Well, I think we got, like last week, we got killed on the turnovers. I think that was, I'd say it's the key area. Just like last week, the same, And that's why we talked about line-outs last week, and then we didn't lose all those line-outs this week, and we ended up with the same thing because we got beaten on the turnovers. Both when we turned them over and when they turned us over. And I think that pretty much sums up the tale.
Cheika, do you feel like, compared to the rugby you guys played when you beat these guys in Brisbane, in South Africa last year, in Argentina, do you feel like you guys have regressed since then?
In the rugby we played? No, I don't think so. I think we've still got the same rugby we're playing. I think we did lots of things right tonight. In the game, in all the other sectors except for the turnover. If you watch the games, and they knew it too. They tried to go there, and we stopped some of them, and we couldn't stop the others because we didn't get enough men up on our feet to make sure we close that down.
Do you take any positive at all from tonight?
Well, it depends what you mean from positive.
In terms of, did you see, I suppose from last week to this week, did you see any improvement?
But I think, in the set pieces, definitely. And I think a very similar tale. If you look at the more the defensive side of the game from set pieces and the attacking side of the game, all that stuff, the kicking game, it was all pretty much the same as last week, relatively even. And it's when we got on the turnover that we got carved up, and that's an area we need to improve.
So if the same issues are happening, what needs to change?
We need to get more people up on their feet when the turnover's on and get it done. Close down the threat.
It must be very frustrating that you speak to them about the same issues time and again.
Well, it's only been the 2 games, you know what I mean? It's not like I've been talking about it for a year or anything like that. We know even against New Zealand it's always a big threat when you play against them, their ability to play off the turnover. So, there's 2 parts to that equation. Try not to turn it over as much, and also then when it does happen, because it will happen, you need to defend well.
On the turnover issue, how does that feel on the field, and how do you think you can get better at it?
Yeah, it happens very fast. On the field, our ability to get on the same page there is the issue. With what we're doing, because it is happening quickly, and when we're not getting aligned on those things, then a team like New Zealand, who's great there, made us pay. Doing it better than us. And likewise when we've turned over the ball, because we turned over plenty of their ball tonight, we weren't able to capitalise.
Michael, Cheika, speaking about those turnovers, what makes the All Blacks so dangerous in those situations, do you think?
They have back their defensive system so that they're, when they do get, a lot of those come off a breach as well, so we've breached them and then we turn the ball over, so you're in behind them, but they trust each other, they keep their width in their defence, and then they've got that width to attack with. So we have to work doubly hard then, especially once you breach, because plays are a bit all over the place. And it's certainly not impossible to do. We need to do it. We need to get that extra player up off the ground, extra 1 or 2 players back up off the ground or back up into the line to shut down the threat, because that's where it often is, back on the inside.
Michael Hooper, the breakdown, both yourself and David Pocock, they came at you hard, didn't they? Was it difficult to get in there with the way that they really came at you and targeted to it?
I'm sure it's nothing new for sevens on the ball or around the ball. Any team's going to come hard at you there. The Kiwis, did that, but I mean they didn't play a huge amount in and around the ruck. I think in the first half they took the wind and tried to plug us a lot and play line out. So getting on the ball was few and far between. But look, like the ruck's always a big part of Test rugby, and we got hit a couple of times. Dave got some pay there. Yeah.
Hoops, do you feel like in the counter-attacking defence, is it just a matter of the guys aren't trusting one another and jamming in when they shouldn't be, or like a sense of panic? Like, what do you feel when you guys turn the ball over? What's the sort of feeling?
Yeah, we're not up to scratch there. We're not. No, you said it. We're not on the same page. We're not reacting fast enough. I think that's probably it. If you broke it down and slowed it, we probably would be fine. It's just New Zealand move the ball very quickly, and by that time, it's all happening very fast, and we're not quick enough to get into that position and be one unit there. And may just pay again.
Michael, the result won't relieve any pressure on the team or on you. How are you going to handle this next period?
How do you mean?
With lots of pressure on you.
In what way?
Pressure on the team to win, pressure on you, about your job.
Georgina, if you are naive enough to think that I'm worried about myself here, then you don't know me at all. You've known me for a while now. The last person I'm thinking about is me. Right? I want Australia to play good rugby and be the best it can. So if you think that I'm worried about myself, then you've never known me.
I guess, Michael Hooper, I guess this is sort of what you've already said, but how many of those tries came down to basic defence? The tries you conceded, I think Barrett's first one, he gets put into a hole. Moody ends up with a mismatch on Guinea. Barrett goes in between Simmons and Kepu. Just fundamental defence?
In 2 weeks, 10 off turnover, I think. It's killing us. And two in other ways. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's too many in turnover, isn't it? So we've got to fix it.
Michael Cheika, just on your job situation though, there have been some reports in Australia that Rugby Australia are putting you on notice to a degree that they're wanting to see some results. Are you aware of that at all? Have they spoken to you about that?
No.
Why would people do that, Mike?
What's that, mate?
Why would people make those suggestions?
Don't know. You need to ask the people. I don't know who's making the suggestion, so maybe it's the journos, or if it's the people, you need to ask the people, mate. But like I said to Georgina, last thing I'm worried about is that, mate. Really. Some people might do rugby coaching for a job. I'm doing it as a passion, want Australia to win more than anything. Right? And I'll do my very best for every day that I'm honoured enough to have the position. So the last thing I'm worried about is that. I want to get the team operating in a place where, when turnovers occur, that we are there and we're ready to pounce.
Hoops, you must be pretty desperate to help the playing group do what it can to relieve pressure on you all. How do you feel at the moment?
Yeah, pretty low. I mean, to be really putting these guys under pressure for parts of the game is feeling good, and then to see a scoreboard like that hurts, Like Michael, I just want to see our team do well and see us reach our potential. You look at the matchups tonight of players, and I'm keeping all our players, I'm not swapping anyone. So how we can get us as a group to reach our potential is the key, and I'm going to keep fighting and keep swinging until we get there, that's for sure.
Michael Cheika, do you feel as though you'll know when you've gotten all you can out of the playing group?
It's a pretty abstract question, mate. Because
obviously every coach, when they're under pressure, there's always a debate in their own minds as to when the right time is to walk away. Do you think you'll know?
No, there's
when
no
that comes?
debate. You wouldn't have a clue. There is no. You wouldn't know. You've never coached anyone. You don't know if there's a debate going on in my mind. I don't know where you come off saying that, right? I told you exactly what I think about it, right? Categorically. So if you think there's a debate going on in your own mind, then you need to go and get some pills to sort it out, because there ain't no debate going on in my mind.
Michael, how is it when the Wallabies, Michael Cheika, if I could, when the Wallabies made breaks, you weren't, and you were chopped down just short of the line in the first half, for example. There were players screaming for the ball on the right hand side of the field, and yet all we did was just hit it up. Yeah,
you're right. We should have gone out the back and gone to those guys.
Yeah. And how do you get them to be aware of that? How do you get them
Well,
thinking
we've
that?
done that before. and we will do it again. It's the wrong decision at the wrong time. You know what I mean? You don't need to have. There's no deep and dark reason why those things happen. Just wrong decision at the key moment. You know what I mean? So yes, should have gone out the back with no doubt. You've been watching the game long enough, you can see it happening. You know, we should have gone out the back there. We would have got a try. It's about those decisions on our turnovers and breaks, and then on their turnovers as well. Working hard to make the right decisions.